Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start with a question that I believe each and every one of you has asked yourself at one point or another. What is the one thing that stands between me and the life I truly desire? I know it's not always an easy question to answer, but I'll tell you this. One thing that holds many of us back without us even realizing it is the way we manage our time. Time is the one resource we all have in equal measure. Each day, we are granted 24 hours. Yet how many of us truly recognize the value of those hours? How often do we let them slip away only to look back and wonder where it all went? In today's fast-paced world, it can feel as though time is our enemy. It seems like we're constantly running out of it, like it's a race we can never win. But what if I told you that time isn't the problem? What if I told you that it's not time itself that we need to worry about, but how we choose to use it? You see, time can be your greatest ally, but only if you learn how to wield it with intention. It's all too easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of life, work, family, friends, social obligations, always giving away your time to others until you have nothing left for yourself. But here's the hard truth. If you don't take control of your time, you will always be running on empty. Time is our most precious asset. It's finite, it's fleeting, and it doesn't wait for anyone. And yet, we often spend it mindlessly on things and people that don't help us move closer to our goals. Have you ever felt like the days are slipping away, that the years are passing by faster than you can keep up with? We've all been there, and it's easy to think that we have more time to make changes or pursue our dreams. But the reality is that we don't know how much time we have left. What we do have, however, is today. And how you use today determines the direction of your life. This brings me to the topic I want to explore with you today, the art of being selfish with your time. Now I know that the word selfish often carries a negative connotation. It's a word we're taught to avoid, a word that implies disregard for others. But what if I told you that in order to be the best version of yourself, in order to truly serve the people around you, you first have to be selfish with your time? What if I told you that by protecting and investing your time wisely, you can create a ripple effect that not only transforms your life, but positively impacts everyone you care about? You see, being selfish with your time isn't about neglecting others or being self-centered. It's about recognizing that your time, your energy, and your well-being are your most valuable resources. When you protect those resources, when you choose to invest your time in what truly matters, you are giving yourself the opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to become the person you are meant to be. And when you become that person, when you step into your full potential, that's when you can show up in the world as the best version of yourself, and that's when you can start giving your best to others. So today, we're going to dive deep into understanding how time works, why it's so valuable, and how you can start being selfish with your time in a way that benefits everyone around you. Because the truth is, when you start taking control of your time, you start taking control of your life. You start creating the future you always dreamed of. And it all begins with how you choose to spend today. Now, let's talk about the first step. Understanding the importance of time. Understanding the importance of time. We live in a world that often feels like it's moving at lightning speed, where time seems to slip through our fingers no matter how hard we try to hold on to it. The reality is, time is the one thing we can never get back. And once it's gone, there's no rewinding or pausing. Time is our most precious resource, and yet, it's the one we tend to neglect the most. Every day we are given 24 hours, and how we choose to spend those hours determines the course of our lives. But here's the hard truth. We often waste time, and not just time spent in trivial activities, but valuable moments that could have been used to improve our futures. Why time is so valuable? Time is the only thing in this world that doesn't discriminate. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, regardless of who they are or where they come from. What makes the difference is how we choose to invest those hours. The richest person in the world and the poorest have the same amount of time. What they do with it is what defines them. Every second that passes is a second you'll never see again. Think about it when you were younger. It may have seemed like time moved slowly, but now, As you grow older, you might feel like it's moving too fast. The reality is that time waits for no one. So why do we let it slip away so easily? Why do we constantly give our time to things and people that don't help us grow or move closer to our goals? The cost of wasting time. Wasting time can often feel harmless in the moment. A few minutes here, a few hours there, what does it matter? But if we're honest with ourselves, those minutes and hours add up. And before we know it, we've spent weeks or even years on things that don't serve us. We've all been there scrolling endlessly through social media, binge watching a series we didn't even care about, or saying yes to things out of obligation rather than choice. And while those moments might bring temporary pleasure or ease, they come at a cost. When you give away your time to others or to distractions that don't serve your growth, you're effectively saying no to the things that matter to you. You're saying no to your dreams, your passions, your goals, and your future. And the longer you do that, the further you drift away from the life you truly want to create. The cost of wasting time is the potential that is lost, the growth that doesn't happen, and the opportunities that pass by unnoticed. You can't put a price on time, but you can see the consequences of not using it wisely. The reality of time's power. Time is more powerful than you think. It's the force that shapes your life. You might not realize it, but the small decisions you make every day about how you spend your time have a profound impact on your future. If you decide to use your time on things that don't bring value to your life, you're essentially choosing to live a life that's disconnected from your true potential. But here's the beauty of it. Time is also the greatest tool for change. The way you choose to spend your hours can transform your life, but only if you take control of it. You have the ability to create the life you want, one moment at a time. Every hour you dedicate to learning, growing, or working toward your goals is an hour that moves you closer to your dreams. In the end, understanding the value of time is the first step toward becoming the person you were meant to be. When you realize that time is limited and irreplaceable, you begin to guard it fiercely. Time isn't just something that passes by, it's something you can use to build the life you've always wanted. So ask yourself, how much is your time really worth to you? Are you ready to take control and be selfish with it? The power of being selfish with your time. We've all heard the phrase, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's a simple yet profound statement. The concept behind it is that in order to give your best to others, you must first take care of yourself. When you are constantly putting others' needs before your own and giving away your time without discretion, you're left drained, overwhelmed, and disconnected from your own goals. This is why being selfish with your time isn't just necessary, it's essential for your well-being, success, and happiness. Being selfish with your time doesn't mean being inconsiderate or neglecting others. It means prioritizing your own needs, dreams, and growth. It's about setting healthy boundaries that protect your energy and time so that you can give the best version of yourself to both your work and your relationships. Time is the only thing that truly belongs to you. It's your most personal and valuable resource, and you should be intentional about how you spend it, why you need to protect your time. When we talk about being selfish with your time, what we're really saying is protect your time like your life depends on it. And in many ways it does. Time is the currency of your life. If you waste it on things that drain you, that don't contribute to your personal growth, or that keep you stuck in the same place, you're essentially squandering your future. The truth is, time is something you can't afford to waste. Every moment that you dedicate to someone else's demands or to things that don't help you grow is a moment you'll never get back. If you're constantly saying yes to other people's agendas, you're unknowingly saying no to your own life's purpose. You're saying no to your potential, to your dreams, and to the vision you have for your future. You are putting your life on hold. Think about it. How many times have you agreed to something out of guilt or obligation, only to feel resentful afterward because it took precious time away from something you truly wanted to pursue? How many times have you let distractions take over your day, leaving you with little energy or motivation to focus on what matters most to you? Setting boundaries. The power of being selfish with your time lies in setting boundaries. Boundaries aren't just about saying no to others, they're about saying yes to yourself. It's about choosing to protect your energy, your focus, and your goals. Establishing boundaries means you are no longer at the mercy of every demand that comes your way, It means learning to say no when something doesn't align with your purpose, even if that means disappointing others. Setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry that you're being rude or that people will be upset with you. But the reality is, the people who truly value you will understand that you have your own goals and needs. In fact, they will respect you more for taking care of yourself. Being selective with how you spend your time. Another key aspect of being selfish with your time is being selective about how you spend it. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of life, attending every event, meeting every obligation, or engaging in every social activity that comes your way. But not all of these things serve your growth. Being selective means making intentional choices about where you put your time. You should ask yourself, is this activity going to bring me closer to my goals, or is it just filling time? When you begin to prioritize the activities and people that align with your goals, you'll start to notice how much more productive and fulfilled you feel. It's like a weight being lifted off your shoulders because you're no longer spending your precious time on things that drain you. The positive impact of being selfish with your time. As you start being more intentional with how you spend your time, you quickly realize how powerful this shift can be. When you invest time in yourself, whether that's through self-care, learning new skills, pursuing your passion projects, or simply having moments of stillness, you will begin to see growth in all areas of your life. You'll become more energized, focused, and motivated. Being selfish with your time also allows you to show up as your best self for others. You can't be the best friend, partner, colleague, or parent if you're constantly running on empty. When you take the time to nurture your own needs, you'll have more to give to the people you love and care about. Being selfish with your time isn't about shutting others out or ignoring the needs of those around you. It's about taking control of your life. It's about being intentional with your time, setting boundaries, and choosing to prioritize your own growth and well-being. Once you embrace this mindset, you'll start seeing positive changes not only in your own life but also in how you impact the lives of others. When you invest in yourself and protect your time, you unlock your full potential, and that's when the magic truly happens. Overcoming guilt and embracing selfishness. One of the biggest hurdles we face when trying to be selfish with our time is guilt. Society has conditioned us to think that selflessness is a virtue, that we should always be available for others, and that saying no is somehow wrong. But here's the truth. If you don't take the time to prioritize yourself, no one else will. Learning to let go of this guilt is an essential step in embracing the power of being selfish with your time. Guilt can be a heavy weight that holds us back from achieving our goals, fulfilling our dreams, and taking care of ourselves. When we feel guilty for prioritizing our own needs, we end up sacrificing our well-being and allowing ourselves to become exhausted and overwhelmed. This is why it's crucial to confront and overcome the guilt associated with being selfish with your time. Recognizing the source of guilt. To begin overcoming guilt, it's important to understand where it comes from. Much of the guilt we feel stems from external expectations from family, friends, co-workers, or even social media. We've been conditioned to believe that we should always be there for others, always be helpful, and always put others' needs before our own. This often leads to a mindset of people-pleasing, where we say yes to everything, even when it's at the expense of our own happiness and well-being. This is where being selfish with your time becomes a revolutionary act. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person, it simply means you are choosing to honor your own needs and protect your time. The first step to overcoming guilt is realizing that it's okay to put yourself first. Shifting your mindset. One of the most effective ways to overcome guilt is by shifting your mindset. Instead of viewing being selfish with your time as a negative trait, see it as a form of self-care and empowerment. Think about the long-term benefits of prioritizing your own needs. When you take time for yourself, you replenish your energy and your focus, which enables you to be more present, more productive, and more loving in every area of your life. By changing your perspective, you can begin to see selfishness not as a form of neglect, but as an essential tool for maintaining balance and achieving your goals. When you prioritize yourself, you are investing in your future success. Being selfish with your time is an act of self-love and self-respect, and those are qualities that will not only improve your life but also inspire those around you to do the same. The power of saying no. Saying no is one of the most powerful tools in being selfish with your time. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but once you get into the habit of saying no when necessary, you'll notice a profound shift in your life. Saying no means saying yes to yourself. When you say no, you are affirming that your time is valuable and that you will no longer allow distractions, obligations, or the demands of others to take precedence over your own goals. This is where true personal power lies, in having the courage to say no to what doesn't serve you, and yes to what aligns with your vision for your life. Practicing self-compassion. Another important aspect of overcoming guilt is practicing self-compassion. We tend to be our harshest critics, especially when we feel like we're not meeting the expectations of others. But you deserve to be kind to yourself. Recognize that it's okay to take time for yourself without feeling guilty. You don't need to justify your choices to anyone. Self-compassion allows you to accept that you have limits and that your well-being is just as important as the needs of others. Start treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a loved one. When you practice self-compassion, you're more likely to embrace being selfish with your time without the emotional burden of guilt. Embracing your worth. At the heart of overcoming guilt is recognizing your worth. You are worthy of your own time, energy, and attention. It's easy to feel like you need to constantly prove your value to others by doing things for them. But the truth is, your worth doesn't depend on how much you give to others. Your worth comes from who you are, not from what you do. When you embrace your own worth, you will naturally start protecting your time, setting healthy boundaries, and saying no when necessary. You will recognize that your time is precious, and spending it wisely is the best way to honor yourself. Overcoming guilt and embracing selfishness with your time is not an easy journey, but it is a necessary one. Letting go of guilt allows you to take control of your life and focus on your own growth and happiness. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. By being selfish with your time, you are not only honoring yourself, but you are also creating the space to be a better version of yourself for others. Allow yourself the grace to say no when necessary, prioritize your needs, and embrace the power of being selfish with your time. The more you do this, the more you'll find that your life becomes aligned with your goals, your energy is restored, and your relationships are enriched. So let go of the guilt, step into your power, and watch your life transform. The ripple effect. How being selfish with your time benefits everyone. You might be thinking, if I focus on myself, isn't that selfish in a negative way? What about the people around me? Won't they suffer if I start putting my needs first? It's a common concern. But here's the truth. When you are selfish with your time in a healthy, productive way, it benefits everyone in your life. The act of putting yourself first doesn't mean you're abandoning others. It means you're becoming the best version of yourself, and that will have a ripple effect on the people around you. Let's explore how prioritizing your time leads to positive outcomes for everyone. Self-care leads to more energy and focus. When you start being selfish with your time, you carve out moments to focus on self-care, rest, and rejuvenation. This in turn restores your energy levels and enhances your focus. Think about it. When you're tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, you're not operating at your best. You're short-tempered, distracted, and may even struggle to engage in meaningful conversations or tasks. However, when you intentionally set aside time to care for yourself, you are able to recharge and come back to your responsibilities with more clarity, energy, and enthusiasm. As a result, you're able to show up better for the people you care about. When you feel good, you can give more to others in a healthier, more balanced way. Being selfish with your time allows you to give from a place of abundance rather than from depletion. Your improved energy and focus benefit your relationships and your work, creating a positive cycle of growth for everyone. Setting boundaries helps everyone respect your time. One of the most important aspects of being selfish with your time is setting clear boundaries. When you make it a point to protect your time and energy, you teach others how to respect those boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are ways to protect what is most important to you. By prioritizing your own needs, you show the world that you are someone who values themselves. This will encourage others to treat you with the same respect. Think about how often you've overextended yourself for others, saying yes to things that drain your energy or take you off track. When you set boundaries, you not only safeguard your time, but also teach others to respect your space, time, and priorities. This makes your interactions more meaningful and balanced because everyone understands what's acceptable and what's not. Being selfish with your time fosters self-respect and confidence. Health. When you start prioritizing yourself, you build a strong sense of self-respect and confidence. This confidence becomes contagious. People around you will begin to notice your self-assurance and start to view you differently, not as someone who is constantly available to please others, but as someone who knows their worth and is unapologetic about it. This shift in perception is powerful. Your self-respect encourages others to do the same. By taking control of your time and setting boundaries, you are creating an environment where everyone can thrive, rather than one where everyone is scrambling for attention or constantly burning themselves out. Your actions inspire others to put themselves first too, which leads to a healthier, more supportive environment for everyone involved. Improved relationships and better support. Another profound benefit of being selfish with your time is that it improves the quality of your relationships. This may sound counterintuitive, but hear me out. When you take time for yourself, you become more present and engaged when you interact with others. You stop feeling resentful of the time you've spent on others because you've already taken care of yourself. As a result, your interactions are more meaningful and you can give others the attention and care they truly deserve. Also, when you are able to focus on your own goals and aspirations, you become a source of inspiration and motivation for the people around you. Instead of being the person who drains everyone's energy, you become the one who lifts others up. When you achieve your own success and happiness, it naturally motivates those around you to do the same. Your journey of self-care and growth serves as a model for others to follow, creating a cycle of encouragement and empowerment. The bigger picture: how selfishness impacts the world around you. When you choose to be selfish with your time in a healthy and intentional way, you're not just improving your own life, you're also contributing to the well-being of the larger community. Your well-being directly impacts the people you interact with, whether it's family, friends, co-workers, or even strangers. As you become more focused, energized, and aligned with your goals, you are able to contribute to the world in a way that is meaningful and impactful. In a world that often celebrates overwork and burnout, being selfish with your time is a radical act, but it's also an act that sends a message that taking care of yourself is a priority. And when you prioritize yourself, you can bring your best self to every aspect of your life. This doesn't just benefit you, it benefits the world around you. Being selfish with your time isn't just about personal gain. It's about creating a ripple effect that benefits everyone you encounter. By prioritizing your needs, setting boundaries, and taking care of yourself, you become a better, more energized, and more fulfilled person. As a result, you not only improve your own life, but also inspire and uplift the people around you. When you give yourself the gift of time, you give the gift of presence, love, and support to others as well. So don't feel guilty about being selfish with your time, embrace it. It's not only good for you, it's good for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, as we draw to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. Time is not just something we use, it is the tool with which we craft our lives. Each day we are given the opportunity to decide how we will spend our 24 hours. Will we squander them on things that don't serve us? Or will we take control and invest them in our personal growth, in achieving our dreams, and in becoming the best versions of ourselves? The reality is simple. Your time is the most precious asset you have. It is a non-renewable resource. Once a moment is gone, it's gone forever. This is why it's crucial to recognize the power you hold in the choices you make every single day. The decision to protect your time, to be intentional with how you use it, will shape your future in ways you can't yet fully imagine. And remember, being selfish with your time doesn't mean being selfish in a way that harms others. It simply means protecting your most valuable resource so that you can show up as your best self for the people who matter most. You can't pour from an empty cup. By being intentional with your time, you are ensuring that you have the energy and capacity to give back to others, to show up with your full presence and love. As you move forward, think about the boundaries you need to set, the moments you need to say no to, and the commitments that will take you closer to your dreams. This is your time, your life, and it's yours to design. So ask yourself, how will you choose to spend your time today? How will you invest it to ensure that you are living a life of purpose, growth, and fulfillment? The answers lie in the choices you make, and those choices start now. Don't wait. Don't let time slip away unnoticed. Take control, be selfish with your time, and watch how it transforms your life, your goals, and the impact you have on the world. Time is your greatest ally. Use it wisely and you will achieve things you once thought impossible. So today, make the decision to protect your time. Be intentional. Be selfish, and let the world witness the power of a person who truly understands the value of their most precious resource. Your future starts now.